Our guest on iTricks Interviews is a really special one. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the virtual magician, a man who has taken the internet by storm. We are lucky enough to have with us Marco Tempest. How you doing, Marco?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Now, you are such a world traveler. Where are we talking to you right now?
I'm back in New York at my secret lab.
Oh, good to see. Good to see. Obviously, you are very, very big out in Asia. You had a show recently in Germany, if I'm correct. You are all over the place. So whenever we can catch you stateside, it is always a good time. Now let's get right into the questions. What would you tell a young Marco Tempest right now? If you can only give one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, if it would be only one piece of advice, probably to take it easy as you go along. You know, it's like I guess as a younger Marco, I was very eager to do everything really, really right, and a real big perfectionist at everything I did. And I think it's at the end of the day, it's not worth it to be too tensed about everything. You know, I think there's a certain speed to every career and every professional path, and you know, and you can be persevering and have tenacity, but at the same time, there's somewhat you know, a natural flow to things, like a certain type of humbleness you have to have so you can enjoy it on the way. So I guess if I could go back and give myself a piece of advice, would be, you know, take it easy. It's all going to be good at the end of the day.
What do you think that you lost from pressing that hard? Is there anything that you think you missed out on, or?
You know, it's there's like the external reality and the internal realities of our work. It's like what the audience sees on stage or on TV or in your work at the end product. And then there's how you get there, which is kind of the internals. It's like the people who have to work with you. Like it's although you might be the magician on stage, it's always a collaboration. They're like stage managers and people who help you with your wardrobe, and you know, and drivers and people who organize your hotel rooms or whatnot. And I came to realize probably a little later in my life that that's equally important. It's equally important, you know, that it's fun for everybody, that it's, you know, you might have to give in and, you know, shorten your lighting rehearsals a little bit, or, you know, don't press the people around you too hard, and come up with a show which might not be as perfect as you want, but you kind of have peace backstage and in your team, and you know, and everybody's still comfortable and not completely overworked. So you know, sometimes like that last 1% you push so hard for, or I pushed so hard for, was totally unnecessary, because to the audience it looks exactly the same. And I guess if you're more relaxed as a performer, it's just better for everybody. And you know, ultimately we're in this business because it's so much fun, and it's very easy to forget that.
So what you're trying to say is that maybe younger Marco Tempest was a little bit too hard with the lighting guys and the backstage people?
Yeah, I could say that. You know, it's kind of like you have this thing and you worked on it for hundreds of hours, and then you go out, and then it's very easy to say, oh, the lighting guy completely destroyed my act or something like, you know, and that's really not good. You know, it's a lot of it has to do with and you know, and recognizing that they are people like you are, or like I am, and just you know, there's a big human factor in what we're doing, and it is a very stressful thing to do magic and to be in a room full of people and do something which is actually quite difficult to do and look relaxed doing it. But so it's easy to forget that you know, you should be as nice as you can.
You think that that might be a systemic problem with magicians, since so much of it is solo? You practice alone, you come up with ideas alone, that getting that sort of people management skills is almost an unnatural part, at least, you know, what you might think, of your evolution as a performer.
In a way it is, you know, but I think as a magician who does anything larger than close-up magic, you have to somehow acquire management skill, people management
Yeah.
skills. You know, ultimately you're going to be hiring people who work for you, and these people have to be
Hopefully.
comfortable and feel happy with, you know, with their job, and get the same amount of you know, recognition and joy out of it like you do as the star or the main performer. So it's really important to learn it, and the best way to learn it is actually to break out of your small world where you're just doing it all yourself, like you know, to help, to have people help you, which are not just friends but people which you hire and which you know, respect for their knowledge or for their contributions. And
Yeah.
so for me, this didn't came completely naturally. It was a very conscious process, and you know, I had to kind of I had to have a few people stand up to me and say, hey, come on, you know, be nice, you know.
Stop being such
It's
a
not
jerk,
that
Marco.
important, you know. So
All right. Well, when you were not menacing, you know, the backstage techies, you have become a very, very big force on the internet. And obviously, it's been a very tricky thing in terms of audience. It has been something that can continue to deliver for people, but it will specifically stick within the magic industry. But it hasn't been a steady revenue stream yet. Do you think that there will ever be a point in your career when an internet venture for you that involves magic or magic performing will pay more or be more part of your career than, let's say, performing live or performing on television?
well, these days I think let me unplug my phone here. I think these days the the biggest venue to get paid is live entertainment.
Yeah.
However, let me quick turn this off. That works great. The technology
Yeah.
magician doesn't know how to turn off his phone. Okay, let me start again. I think these
Please
days, you
do.
know, where the big money is live entertainment.
Yeah.
That's where you can, you know, make a lot of money in very, very short time, especially, you know, and there are two platforms. One is corporate and one is ticketed entertainment. If you have your own show, I guess that's like the biggest possible venue to make money these days.
Yeah.
However, to come back to your question, the internet is in a place right now where it's slowly changing, and we will see a lot of changes during the next, I think, 2 to 3 years, where devices will converge, like your set-top box and your computer and your handheld device will somehow fuse into one device or into one type of content or one content provider. You know, I imagine a future where you have your Comcast or your Time Warner or your Apple giving you all the content you ever want: movies, television, time shifted television, online training, everything you want for a fixed price, where like a all you can eat price. And there might be two pricing models, where one is without advertising and one is with advertising. And right now we're in this, and it's also totally unclear who is going to provide that to you. It could be a
Yeah.
computer company like Apple, which is now the biggest music retailer in the US, or it
Yeah.
could be a company like Nokia, which is a handset company. They have their own music store as well, and they, you know, they sell like 700 million handsets or something like that. So there are like different possibilities on how this all could work out. But where we are right now is we're in this experimental phase where everybody puts content on the internet, and I'm sure you're totally aware of that with your content, where we all put content on the internet and we don't really know how to monetize it correctly.
Yeah.
And in a way, that's not very good. But on the other hand, it's really, really great because you have all these opportunities of advertising agencies and content providers and companies experimenting with this new media, where they, you know, they might hire you to do 10 videos to showcase a product and have you do 10 magic tricks with their new product. Or you might have a portal which pays you to put your videos on that portal. Or, you know, there's all these different possibilities for us now. So I think in the short run, there's some big chunks of money out there for people who go forward with good proposals and kind of know how to sell them. Um, in the long run, I think it's going to be like network TV. You will not have a chance as an individual. You will
Okay.
have to be part of a big studio or a big venture and part of a big content pipeline like Chris Angel is right now going, from A&E to Cirque du Soleil and like being kind of handed over from one content provider to the next where it's just like you have to have a certain distribution channel to make it possible. These
Gotcha.
days, you can still do whatever you want and start it on YouTube or on your own website and find ways to monetize. So um, there's also another aspect of the whole thing, which is that your online presence might bring you a lot of money in live gigs, which I have about 40 million people to date watching my content online on YouTube and similar websites. And that gives me a lot of business in the corporate arena and in the television arena. So it's very hard to say, how much money really came from internet and what came through the internet.
Okay. All right. Well, that kind of answered, but just a yes or no. Do you think that direct internet sales or a revenue stream that is from the internet will ever be your primary source of income?
Could be, yes. It's
Okay.
like I'm at the bottom of it. What I'm saying is that the internet, the way we have it right now, will
Yeah.
soon be merged into something
Everything.
else. Where
Yeah.
we're talking about content ultimately, and all the content will come over IP networks very, very soon. So,
Gotcha.
you know, yeah, maybe for a couple of months it could be, but or maybe a year and a half. But right now, what I'm aiming at is live entertainment, especially with the economic situation like we have it right now. I don't think that corporate sponsors and internet portals will spend a lot of money on content in the months to come or in the next year and a half to come. It's more likely that you will be able to make money in live entertainment, ticketed entertainment, like shows people can buy a ticket for a reasonable price, and then have a great time.
Very, very interesting. So it's not that internet would make more than television; it would be that internet will become television. You know,
Basically, yes. I think
and
I think to us it will be no longer transparent, and you see it with sites like Hulu, where you go
mhm.
online and you basically watch TV shows. A lot of
Yeah.
people, especially people who travel, watch TV on the internet already. It's like my main source for American television is the internet, pretty much.
Yeah. It's funny now that they had the big announcement with the Boxy software that you can put on your Apple TV that like now Hulu available on Boxy. So this brilliant technological breakthrough. Get this, we can watch TV shows on our television. This is mind blowing.